Hello everybody and welcome back to Watching Wolford. It's episode 2 of the Super Soap Stunt Week. This time episode 2 and 3 of Emmerdale, the hour slot that it has. No Coronation Street today, but we will just talk about it. I'll go through all my notes and make sure you have a clear and very concise update as to what happened on today's episode. So I'm going to go through it from episode 1 to episode 2, of course, but I just want to say I was quite negative in yesterday's episode. I didn't think that much really happened of any worth in the Emmerdale yesterday. I thought it was all building up to today, which I didn't really understand because obviously it's a big week. Everything in this week should be explosive. But ultimately today's episode was much better and a lot more exciting, a lot more gripping. You know, it felt a lot more in line with what they were trying to accomplish rather than yesterday, which was kind of mid. Also, note that I said last year Mina was killing people on that soap week. Apparently it was a storm last year. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. It's honestly, I feel like at some point when you I'm naturally still in 2019, and that's as far back as I think everything happened. So yeah, there we are. But there we are. Let's get into the episodes. Let's say what happens. So first up, we have Sam asking Kim more about Lydia, and you know he leaves a big message on her aunt's phone, which she does listen to. But Mandy, meanwhile, is getting her neck involved and starts to tell Sam that Lydia and Craig are having an affair, which obviously, knowing what really happened in that she was raped, feels pretty fucked. But obviously, she didn't know that. But just as she mentions her and, when she mentions her and Lydia, having an argument about it, she says that Lydia protested. But just as Mandy's dishing her dirt, Lydia shows up and tells Sam that she's not going to leave him. But you do need to sit down as I've got something to say. And she was like, oh, it's going to ruin everything. You know. Next, we go to the Aaron stuff as Aaron expresses how lost he felt after Liv died. And he's still furious with Chaz after everything and does blame her for Liv's death. Aaron still plans on going back to Italy and says he was set up, but when Chaz searches his bag, she finds rolls of cash, meaning he wasn't set up. He did just steal 30k from a bunch of Italian gangsters. We carry on with the Chloe and Max stuff and Charity stuff, as Chloe seems presently content with Charity and Max's sketchy chat. But you can see that the rage is just bubbling inside. The weird green filter. Okay. I didn't mind the green filter in this one. I did kind of enjoy how it was here's what she's actually thinking. It'd be like, oh, is everything fine? It's not fine, you fucking cheater. You know, it's telling people what they're really thinking. It was quite campy and uncanny, but I can appreciate what it was going for. But I do find it funny how she did just get more main villain in a fucking pantomime the further it went on. She's just hinting more have any surprise hookups lately? No. Wow, I didn't think so. You know, just hinting more and more. And yeah, she gets increasingly weird and keeps hinting that she knows more until Charity is completely uncomfortable and everyone starts shouting as they get crashed into from the side as the car gets sent screaming down the side of a hill. And that's it for episode 1. I said these notes were going to be quite clear and concise and I didn't want to spend too long talking about just one thing, so there we are. That's episode 1. Episode 1 was very good. It was good at ramping up, you know. Soaps usually like to because we could tell what Chloe was thinking. We knew what was going to happen, beforehand. Obviously, we didn't know that there was going to be I don't think we knew that there was going to be a car crash. But ultimately, we did know that she's going to ramp up and she's going to get more and more annoyed and more upset. And I thought it was just a really good way to... It's always Hitchcock tells a film technique of shock. And I've said this multiple times on the channel, for some reason. But you know, shock is an instant 5 to 10 seconds, huh. But you know, suspense is when you plant a bomb under the table and the audience knows there's a bomb under the table. Shock, you just go, what the fuck? But then you know, the audience knows that there's a bomb under the table, proverbial bomb that is, and then suddenly everything else surrounding the bomb, it becomes unimportant because suddenly you're like, why the fuck are you talking about a cup of tea when you could be talking about the fucking bomb that's under the table? There's a bomb under the table, lads. So, you know, we hear that Chloe's plan is to get them in the middle of nowhere and trap them. As said before, I will go into who I think he saves. But yeah. I'm still very torn, so if you do see me stalling in this video, just know that I'm trying to find out who actually falls down the cliff. Yes. Alright, hold on, sorry. I just really want to get a consensus as to what people think happened. One moment. All right, so I've had a brief little break in between, just because I really need to know. All right, I really need to know who goes off the side. But before we get into that, let's just go through episode 2 and the details of what happens. Episode 2 commences, and I've gone into it in like the order of what's kind of important. You know, like from like least important to most important. So obviously, you know, we have the bits where Chaz meets up with Harry. I don't know where he's from, but this accent he has is very dodgy. But as said, the guy who's playing Harry played a guy called Fergus in Hollyoaks, who was a big villain and like just started spying on a bunch of girls. And yeah, he's got a strange accent. I'm not sure if it's his normal one or a fake one, but it sounds strange. Anybody who knows Fergus and knows this guy, it's a very weird one. He tries to get her off for a drive and like tries to find like tries to get her away from everything. But you know, she arranges for a drink in the back room with him, and as they leave Nate's season, Caleb and Kane talk about Aaron, but they get an alarming phone call from Nate when he mentions Harry going into the pub. So, you know, Kane and Caleb just go, yo, just don't fucking do anything. Why would you let this happen? But also, don't do anything that might spook him. Harry's obviously quite dangerous. Next, we have Sonny and Jay, and they're listening to their dad, Amit. Sorry, I've never actually heard that name spoken. They may be pronouncing it stupidly or uncultured or whatever. You know, they listen to their dad explaining the situation with her mum. Essentially, he describes it as an arranged marriage, which ended up making Amit a very rich man, seemingly. Like, he had to take over the business, and then, you know, the love came from there. But ultimately, Sonny's upset because he made it seem like he didn't even really care for his mum. And he finds it a bit too difficult, so he just has to leave. And next, probably the most sincere part of the episode, Lydia prepares to tell Mandy, Belle, and Sam about her being raped by Craig. It's a fantastic piece of acting. You can just see the inner turmoil as she just struggles to fully let herself go and like explain. But you know, she explains Craig like being like, oh yeah, it's fine, as they all look distraught. But you know, and she explains that she was raped and he pinned her down, but she couldn't say it, and it wouldn't come out. She couldn't go through that. And yeah, she mentioned when she went to the police, she couldn't say the word rape because Craig simply said, nobody will believe you. I'm rich. I do things with people. I'm powerful. Nobody will believe you. When Sam goes to hug her, she freezes up and apologizes, and Sam just feels angry and is furious knowing how welcoming they were to Craig. He feels he needs to hurt him, but Lydia talks him out of it. And when asked about whether she's going to the police, she just says she can't go through that again and plans to carry on as normal to get through things. And she thanks him for believing her. Really good scenes here. I've never really been a fan of Sam or Lydia personally, but obviously when they give a serious storyline to an otherwise like comedic character, it's always a good time to show the depth that a lot of these actors do have on soaps to carry such large stories. obviously, it's become a bit of a joke that whenever Emmerdale feels like stuck, they do just throw in a rape in there. But with the statistic that, I don't remember the statistic, but it's been going around that, like, that just a lot of women have been sexually assaulted in their lives. And the figures are actually criminally high. But yeah, it's, excuse me. Yeah, it's a big kind of, it's really impactful scenes, and they did it very well. And finally we have Mac waking up from the crash first, and he checks on everyone. He has to get his phone, but it's ended up outside, and that means he's outside and everybody else are inside. He phones an ambulance, but the car comes dangerously close to falling off the cliff. Charity comes to first and realizes the danger of the situation, as we get a scary but slightly comical shot of the car teetering on the edge as it like just pans out, and it's like, this just looks really weird. Like, I don't know if it looks real or not, or just bad. Who the fuck knows? Chloe wakes up and freaks out and nearly jeopardizes the car as they both freak out, but Mac talks her down. Chloe makes Mac promise to tell Ruben that she'll always love him. As the car threatens to fall out of the side, they both as the car like genuinely is teetering on the edge, you know, they both reach out. And, you know, we see the car go plummeting down the cliff. But obviously, we don't know who he's saved. A lot of people are eagle-eyed, seeing that the hand didn't have any, like, fake nails on. So people believe that it is... people do believe that it is Charity. But I kind of want to believe that... I would love to believe that... I want to believe that Mac grabbed both of them. Because I do like Chloe as a character. I say this, I don't, like, care so much for Emmerdale. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by Twitter, seeing if anybody's saying anything interesting. The answer's no. But, you know, I'm not the biggest Emmerdale fan, of course. I've been aware of that. Like, someone asked me if I'm ever going to make characters who should return, or characters who should never return on Emmerdale, and I just went, I want to, but I don't know enough, you know. I've not had that, like, storyline that's really hooked me in dramatically. And even when I did that, I watched all the Mina stuff, but I just found a lot of the rest of it kind of mid. But I just don't have that, I'm not that endeared to the characters. But I do like Chloe. I do like Mac. I don't really care for Charity that much. She's not as bad as Chaz, of course, but like, I don't want any of them to die. So I either hope that maybe Mac grabbed Charity and then they go back to normal, which I hope not. I think that too much has happened between all of them to really do it. But I do hope that Mac, like, somehow just saves both of them. Like, that's all I really want. But ultimately, I'm not that, like, I'm not going to be that upset if either dies, really. It'll just be one of those things where it will be a shame if Chloe leaves. And I just simply can't imagine them killing off Charity. So it's just a very strong, yet very confusing... Like, where will they go? And the answer is, honestly, I can't tell you. But I'd love to say I have a really good take. I do feel like that. I don't feel like they'd make it as specific as they would just specifically have Charity's hand there. I feel like it has to be a bit of a red herring. But, you know, what's to say that they didn't, like, fall down with the car, right? But yeah, sure, grabbed onto your hands. What say they didn't tumble as well? But I don't know. I would love to see. I don't know. I just want to see them all alive. I don't know how it's going to go. But there we are. It was a fantastic set of episodes today. So kudos to Emmerdale for piecing it together properly. They used a bit less of the gimmicky, like, green, like, filter, whether you heard what they really thought. But fundamentally, it was just a much better paced episode. There was a lot more drama ramping up. You didn't need as much context. It was a lot easier to get into it. So, all in all, fair play to you, Emmerdale. This episode was pulled out the bag. I mean, it's not often I get this with soaps where I feel like I'm like, oh, imagine if I knew what happens tomorrow, today. But fundamentally, they did a fantastic job of building up to this, and I am pretty excited to see what happens tomorrow. Or at least I believe it's tomorrow. I don't know if they will, I don't know if there's a break tomorrow in the screening, but no, we will see a half an hour slot of Emmerdale, so we should know what happens to Charity or Chloe, and indeed or Mac. Honestly, the only one I really care that much about going is I don't want to see Mac go. I feel like he's too much. I feel like he's a decent, fun character that's kind of been embroiled in a lot of, like, kind of small, serious shit. Like, I would love to see more of his bisexuality come into play. You know, maybe him and Aaron, you know, maybe we get that. I don't know. I'm not a big Emmerdale fan anyways. I try to be, but ultimately it falls, like, down here with Neighbours, Home and Away, and, you know, Casualty, Holby. One's cancelled. Both cancelled, I don't know. Regardless, those have been my thoughts on the episode 2 of the Super Stunt Week. Thank you for watching. I've been Ash from Watching Wolford. If you do like this Emmerdale content and want some of it to keep up, obviously I can't guarantee it all. We are predominantly an Eastenders channel, but I am trying to cover the others when I have the time. But yeah, thank you for watching, and join me in the next time. Comment in the comment section down below. Was it Charity? Was it Chloe? Is the hand enough, or is that a red herring? Did he grab both of them? You know, but did one of them get out by themselves and feels let down? We don't know. Tell me in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and join me in the next one. Bye bye. I suppose obviously next episode is going to be half an hour Emmerdale, hour of Corrie, so obviously Emmerdale notes and then Corrie notes as it goes. Thank you for watching. Join me in the next one. Bye bye.